We're now going to welcome Becky Baldwin, one of the UK's finest rock bass players. Welcome, Becky.
Hello, thank you for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. I know before the COVID kicked in and wiped out the live circuit as we know it, hopefully not for too long, you were enjoying immense success as a bass player in the band Fury, but you used the lockdown downtime to be very proactive.
Yeah, so we used the lockdown time as an opportunity to become more active online and speak to our fans that are worldwide, not just the ones in the UK, because we mostly toured in the UK before. You know, it is a big shame that we didn't get to play those tour dates that we had planned for the release of our album this year. But it meant that we could reach people in America more, so we did a lot of live streams with that and do more content online rather than relying just on shows in real life.
Yeah, there's one particular video I love. It's Burnout in the garage scene. What's the story behind that?
So the whole album is based around cars and racing. I mean, there's a few songs that are not really within this theme, but yeah, so we wanted to film one of the music videos to be around the car theme, and that was the most promising one that we thought would be the best single to do. So we filmed it in a friend's garage who kindly let us make a lot of noise on his street. And then another friend of ours who we met who had a really cool car and was happy to drive around, and I was in my car driving behind him with a camera stuck to the front of my bonnet and trying to drive as close as possible, trying to get past him and stuff like this to achieve all the shots that we have in the video. Yeah, and it was a really cool thing to put together. We didn't, this was in February, so we didn't know what was coming for the rest of the year, and we thought it was promotion for the tour we were going to have. Of course that didn't happen in the end.
It's surprising how much goes into just getting one or two shots, do it again, but it works really well. What's the name of the album?
The album's called The Grand Prize, so we released that in April this year.
I know for a fact you love touring. You've toured for such a long time, well, constantly, lots of tours in a row. Are you actually missing the interaction with obviously the audience, but band members as well?
Yes, definitely. For Fury, we've actually started rehearsing together again, which is great. We rehearse at a friend's studio called Capsack Studio in Birmingham. So it's a very small studio that they run themselves, so we trust them very well to have a clean environment and stuff like this. So it's been great to rehearse with Fury again. My other band, Hands Off Gretel, still haven't managed to get into the rehearsal room again, but hopefully we can do that in the next few months. Fury have done some shows. Well, we did one show where we had no audience, so we went down to Southampton. It's a venue called the 1865, and they filmed a gig with no audience there, which was a very interesting experience. So the only people we played to was the sound engineer, lighting engineer, and 3 camera people. And then they edited together the video that we could put out online. But it was just very strange. You finish a song and, even if you don't have a big audience, you expect to hear some kind of applause and response. But, you just, because it's being filmed and it's all very professional and stuff, the people there, they're working and they just kind of watch and go, okay, there is the song. And there's just an eerie silence, and you've just got to imagine that the people at home are watching and actually enjoying it.
Do you like dragons, people of the internet? Well, it's a good damn thing, because this is the Dragon song.
I'm really missing actually playing to real people and the whole touring life. It's not really sustainable to do the online thing all the time, but I'm very glad that we've done a little bit of that.
You mentioned Hands Off Gretel, great band, I really like this. Slightly different approach to Fury, but it's still powerful, in your face, energetic. Who does the writing in that? Because there's some great lyrics in there.
Yeah, the writing is all done by our vocalist, Lauren Tate. So she's actually got some other projects as well. So she's just launched a kind of more like rap metal punk kind of mix called Delilah Bond, which she's done during lockdown. So her attention's been focused on this new project. But you know, Hands Off Gretel will be back on the road when it is safe to do so. We've had a tour cancelled at the start of this year in March when we released our EP called The Angry EP, and we got it moved to October. Now that isn't looking possible with the kind of venues we're playing and the kind of tickets that we're selling. It just doesn't seem like we're going to fit those people in with like social distancing measures. So we've moved it again to spring next year, and just crossing all our fingers to hope that that actually happens.
Some great videos out there, I've watched all of them. Very, very visually, very good, and you always seem to be wrapped up in either a black or a white, huge big Rickenbacker 4001 bass. Is that your fave for live or recording?
Yeah, the 4001 is my favourite, so that's a 1977 white Rickenbacker, and I've also got I'll show you here, the 4003 is the black one, so that's this, which I've modified with Seymour Duncan pickups here, and it's got a custom scratch plate as well, which is catching a lot of light there, and also got my nameplate on which says Rickenbecky instead of Rickenbacker. So yeah, I really love these. And also, I don't know if you can see this little skull on my switch tip. Yeah, a few modifications on both of them actually. They've got very similar things, but yeah, this is the black 4003.
Oh, I love it, Rickenbacker, great. Let's have a look at the scratch plate again. Who makes those?
So these scratch plates are made by a guy called Alperius Custom Pickguards, that's his company, and he's based in Turkey, and basically he hand carves them out of metal, I think it's aluminium, and then also kind of paints them different colours, and yeah, so they're all like just custom whatever you want to have on it, and you know, makes it all for all kind of different style of basses. So he'll make it to your measurements, so you don't have to do any modifications or anything. The screws are all in the exact same place where your normal scratch plate would be. So yeah, I really like them, and they've actually, he made it based out on my tattoo on this arm here. So that kind of tribal swirls and stuff was based on that, and yeah, made this really unique piece of art.
That's right, and you mentioned guitar case. Have you got a Fusion bag that'll fit that, Ricky?
Yes, yeah, so I use my Fusion case for, you know, it's my main case, so any bass that I take, I will use the Fusion case. So yeah, it fits the Rickenbacker, and the Fender Jazz bass that's is actually slightly longer than the Rickenbackers, so it fits in there pretty well as well. And you know, I can also I could probably fit my bass head in the case as well, because it's got quite a few pockets. So it ends up pretty heavy. The case itself is not heavy, but when you've got that many pockets, you just want to take advantage of them and just like throwing in like 4 cables, a power reel, everything you want, or your tools, and just you carry it in one bag. So it ends up weighing quite a bit, but at least you've got everything together in that case. That's
great. I've noticed your style, it's almost finger picking, but it's very powerful. It's almost, you've still got that hard edge approach as well, like sometimes it sounds like you use a pick as well.
Yeah, so actually I don't really use a pick very often at all. It's just not really something I've adapted to very well. I much prefer using fingers, but eventually, you know, your fingers end up hard enough that they start feeling like picks anyway. And you know, if you play it quite hard, as you would playing metal and rock, then I feel like you can get quite a similar tone to a plectrum if you just keep that playing hard and consistent, and also, use some kind of effects that will help you get high gain out of it and stuff like this.
Yeah, great finger style. I can almost relate that to Steve Harris in Iron Maiden. Did he influence you in the early days?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I love Steve Harris's playing. Very aggressive and fast. And always very prominent in the mix for Iron Maiden. I guess if it's your own band, and even if you're just the bass player, you're going to say, hey, turn that bass up in the mix. But yeah, I think he's influenced a lot of metal players, myself included. I love Steve Harris, Cliff Burton. Lemmy was a player that influenced me early on. More so, he plays more with a pick all the time and almost plays his bass like it's a guitar. Which is not the kind of style that I do, but I just think he's just a great performer and just an iconic musician that I love to be inspired by.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I know a couple of years ago now we were in a studio together. We did a video with 4 or 5 tracks and a couple of other guys as well, guitarists. And all us guitarists are going around the tracks, listening and listening and listening, getting familiar. Where's Becky? You just walked in, heard it once and went right all the way through it. Is that a knack you've got?
I don't know, just learning a lot of songs. I guess, I spent a lot of time on the kind of covers band circuit, mostly depping, so it wasn't just learn a couple of sets and do them. It was learning a lot of different sets, and even if you don't know the sets, try and figure out something to play that's safe and will work with almost anything. So I guess that's the kind of thing I'm used to doing, just kind of jamming along and trying to play something that isn't going to be too offensive to anyone's ears.
Yeah, it's a spontaneous, natural talent, I think. It's what I like about all these fusion artists we've got on the show. They're not just bass players, not just guitarists, not just saxophone players. And I know there's another string to your bow that you are a qualified teacher at the Bristol Rock School.
Yes, yeah, my school is the Bristol Rock Centre. I've actually just been interviewing some tutors today to hopefully expand the business, because we had to close during the lockdown in the UK, but we have since reopened, and things are starting to get back to normal. So we're looking at getting some more people involved. I'm actually there right now in one of the teaching rooms, so actually on a quiet afternoon for once. So, but we'll have some lessons in here later.
And like I said, a happy teacher says it all, and I can hear the enthusiasm. And you love what you do, which makes so much difference. Becky, so nice to talk to you, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, it's been a great pleasure.
Wheels keep turning, but no one's driving, so